Howdy and welcome to the cave. It's great to have you back. I'm Mark, and you're watching Blue Street Customs. Alright, today what I'm going to do is paint up the tree that I made. This is a wire form tree. And maybe at some point I will make a small tutorial on how I did that. But for now, I'm going to paint this up, and depending on how long it takes to dry, maybe I'll start getting to the foliage. Well, I don't know how much you guys heard. Camera quit. But as I was saying, the Mod Podge will seal it all for you, and will give the wire a coating so that you're able to paint the wire, and the paint will stick to it a lot better. The purpose of the black in the Mod Podge is for highlighting all the nooks and crannies and basically give you a natural shadow of the whole thing. So what I'll do is I'll get this all covered up and let it dry, and then I'll be back. Alright, now that everything's all dry and black, we can start off with the brown, and then from there, fairly decent coating. Now in this one I didn't leave a whole lot of texture for the look of bark, but we can use the brush strokes to our advantage, and by doing so will actually give us the look of bark and the nice tree texture that we're looking for. Now keep in mind, this is the very first time I've ever done this, so I'm learning as you're learning. Hopefully this will turn out quite nice. Now I'm not too worried about getting all the upper branches up here, because a lot of that will end up covered with flocking. Just give this a nice liberal coat to give our first color. Now I was thinking of using the airbrush on this, but I don't think it would actually work too well on it. Now we're just kind of experimenting on this because, like I said, never done this before, and that's the whole part of this game, is just trying something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And hopefully we can make something look fairly decent out of it. Now this paint doesn't take very long to dry. You can do up some of these little longer branches. They might be seen a little bit, not much. Now, unless you're half a centimeter or a centimeter tall, you probably will never be actually under this tree while it's in a diorama. Now something like this, if you want to spend this amount of time, it's decent for dioramas, but to try and spend this much time on a tree like this for, say, a gaming table, probably not the best idea. I'm going to wash up the brush here. Okay, now what you're going to need, paper towel. So what we're going to do is a technique called dry brushing, which is basically you load up your brush, and sounds stupid, but you wipe as much of it off as possible, just so that it's barely leaving any paint whatsoever. Then all you're going to do is lightly go across, just so it's picking up some highlights. Now it may look like you're not doing anything, but just keep going over it and over it and over it, and you'll see that it'll actually start to pick up all the little ridges and high spots. If you ever look at a tree, it's not actually brown. It's got shades of tan and gray and brown and black. So it's actually got a lot of different little colors in it. And that's what we're trying to achieve by doing this dry brushing technique. Now it's not going to take a whole lot of paint. And as you can see, hopefully on the camera here, You can see that it's starting to pick up the highlights. And that's all you're trying to do is just highlight the edges, the higher spots. Not worried about the bottom, because once it's on the diorama, that's going to get covered with ground cover anyways. You're just worried more about the main trunk and the big branches. Now you can go as far as you want, or as little as you want. It's all entirely up to you. This is your tree. It doesn't matter what other people want. It's what you need and what you want for your diorama or your project, whichever you're using this for. Take your time, and remember, it's only paint. If you don't like it, repaint it. Just make it the way you want it. Now you can make it look like it's 200-year-old tree, or you can make it look like it's fairly new. Maybe add a touch of green to it. Whatever shades, whatever colors you'd like. Now these are just the colors I'm looking for because of the diorama that it's going to be going on. And diorama, you're going to have to check out my other channel as I make it, but it's a water wheel sawmill. And it's based in the old Wild West, 1700s give or take, 1800s. There you go. I don't know if you can see that. Now, I'm not even going to bother to clean my brush. The next color I'm going to go for, I think I was using tan, so the next color is antique white. And this again is just a very, very touchy, trying to get the even highest spots. Again, load up your brush. Right back on the same color, doesn't matter. Gives you a nice transition of colors. Get it all off. Again, just hit all of the highest points. That's all you're trying to do. Now we are going to seal this after. And I'll show you what we're going to use for sealing it. There you go. I think that's going to be good enough. Okay, once you've got it all painted the way you like it, and it's all dry, we're going to seal it with some Minwax Fast Dry. And again, you get this local hardware stores, maybe some even automotive stores. Now I'm going to go spray this because I don't spray anything in the house. I'm going to go outside. You should wear a mask, or at least a very well ventilated area, and I'll be right back. Okay. Now again, like I said, fast drying polyurethane Minwax, clear satin is what you want. Now also this stuff, if you happen to work with a pink extruded polystyrene, which is an insulation foam, and here up in Canada where it's colder, we have ease of access to it. Anywhere you guys are that is warmer, it might be a little more difficult to get it. It does come in various thicknesses. We just get it at local hardware stores, building stores, anything like that. Check around. You guys might have to use an alternative, maybe the expanded polystyrene, which is white, and it's kind of like compressed beads together. Now, as for this stuff, once I start the flocking, I'll be using just regular white glue from the dollar store. You can pick it up, Walmart, Staples, different places. That's for the initial flocking. I'll be doing that on the ends. Once I get a bit of a buildup, then I will be using 3M77 spray adhesive. And make sure you get the spray adhesive that is a mist, not a string. There are some that come out like a stringy glue. You want the stuff that's a mist. Alright, so we're going to start the flocking. Now, you don't have to, but you can get yourself some sort of tray. I got these from the dollar store, cheap, aluminum, throw away if you need to, or reusable. You can use the wife's baking sheets. I just wouldn't tell her. Find yourself an old brush that you can use with the white glue. Some sort of tray to put the glue in. I am going to be using this foam flocking that I pick up from Amazon. It's a dark green sponge leaf foliage. I will leave a link in the description for it. But we're going to start with that. This is one of the most tedious parts of this for me anyways. But like I said, it moves a lot quicker once you've got this part done. And then it gets a little more fun because you can just spray it, which again should be probably done outside, or at least in a very well ventilated area. Possibly have a backdrop because it is a spray glue and you don't want that all over the place. Now again, with any product, read the instructions, read the warnings on it. Any type of aerosol, paint, or glues, you should be using some sort of mask, or at least in a very well ventilated area like outside. Okay. Yeah, let's get hopefully the last of this on, and then we'll have to let it sit overnight and dry. We'll just tap off the excess here. And there you have it so far. Now again, the spray glue will start to build up your thickness layers, and it'll get fuller and fuller as you go. So we'll see you in the morning. So after spraying it with your spray glue, now we're going to start building up more layers. And we're just going to keep doing this until you get your desired look, and then we'll see how it turns out. Coat number 3. As you can see, it's getting fuller and fuller. Just tap off the excess. Anything that gets on the branches, you can always knock off after. Give me a second and I'll be right back. Now I'm going to add a little bit of the original flocking. Now I'm just going to keep going back and forth like this until you get what you're looking for texture. Try to get it just on your end branches. Each layer you do is going to just build it up thicker and thicker. Looking not too bad if I do say so myself. Give me a minute, I'll be back again. I'll spray another layer. Okay, with this layer, I'm going to go back to my other stuff. And they are slightly different colors, so it will give some nice shadows and highlights. I am going to add a different one again, and that'll give even more highlights. And all this flocking comes from Amazon. I'll put a link in the description for it. Okay, I'm going to let this dry a little bit, and then we're going to do the highlight green.